What is up? It's me from Alexander RC coming at you with another exciting video. Today we are doing a intake manifold swap on the D17a2 Civic, the ES2. I have the intake of a D16Y8 here. I got it at my local pick and pull for 28 bucks, I believe. Relatively cheap. I can't wait to get it installed. I already got it cleaned up. I'm going to put it in here, get rid of the plastic manifolds, and hopefully clean it up, see if I can get any performance mods, or any gains from it. And when I get that all out, I'll put you back on. I have the D17 fuel rail out, just test fitting it to the D16 manifold. I will need the seals off the D16 injectors, so I might have to make a run to go get that. Also, I need vacuum port seals. I have it mostly apart. Still trying to get the manifold out, leaking fuel. We're getting there. Okay, so I got the D17 manifold out. Took long enough. But so now what I'm gonna do is, I've already taken one stud out by double nutting it and then extracting it. So but I have some 3 D16 white studs here. I just have the bolt on them, and then we're gonna do it. These is you're gonna remove this stud, and then I've already removed this one stud that goes right here. But you're gonna do the same, and then put in the D16 studs and keep the short end in, so you're able, or the shorter end in, so you're able to use the long end for the manifold. Gotten that far. Plugged up this fuel line with a bolt to keep fuel from already going everywhere, which I've already had that problem. But got it out. A lot of space back there. Got it. Been working at it for a little bit now. This is the D16 gasket. This is the tracing for the D17 throttle body, the back of it. So it's interesting. So my throttle body has these holes here. These are for the idle air control valve, but on my D17 it is mounted on the throttle body, so I don't need it on the manifold. What I think we're gonna do is I'm gonna make an aluminum plate. I have aluminum, and then I'm gonna mount my map sensor, wherever it is, right here, to that, if that makes sense. So I'll put the aluminum, and then I'll try to find a little bit bigger O-ring to fit that, because I don't know which one it is. I think it's the autos, or the automatic white manifolds. They do not have these holes pre-drilled, so and I tap these and put in the map sensor, but they're already there and they're already a little too large, so need to find a way to block it off. I'm learning as we go along, but I got the manifold out, like I said. Also, I got the 3 studs in. Having a little bit problems trying to get past the AC. I'm also gonna have to cut off this little tab. I'll show you when I get that done. We're back. We're on day 2 of the manifold swap. I have one stud in. This is the stud out of the D17 intake manifold. I was able to line it up. I had to pre-drill a hole, and then I double nutted it with, these, and then I very slowly threaded it in. Also, I drilled a second hole here, and I threaded that, so I'm able to have, so the throttle body is, I could mount it up now for like, I still have to bore out these 2 holes a little bit. I've started working, where is it at? Oh, right here. I started working a little bit, trying to bore that out. My Dremel bits just don't have the bite to do that, but going quite well. I still have to get the injector seals. I have to get Dremel bits, like I said, and then I gotta get vacuum port seals. And that's what I need. I'll try getting those this evening. I'm gonna continue working on this. I think I might be stuck for now, but yeah. So I made a little template with, so this is little index cards. I have like a little small stack of them, little 3x5 index cards. But I took a crayon, I took the, index card, I put it over the, the face, went over it with a crayon, kind of like you would in kindergarten, get some cool textures, or Indiana Jones on the shield. And then I took a permanent marker, traced it over the aluminum. I'm gonna make a plate. I'm gonna drill out these 2 holes, but then I'm gonna leave these 2 holes alone so that I'm able to, pick whatever size that mounts up to, if that makes sense. Okay, we're back. I got the plate all made up. It's not beautiful at all, but if I get the focus on it, come on, okay, but you can see it. I just put on the the outline. I will make it look prettier, I promise. But I need to put a locking nut on that. But there she drops mostly right in. I can take my, the bolts. I'll have to pick up some much shorter ones, but they go in. So, but that's that for the map sensor. I'll find some other bolts, see what I figure out. And I still need to clean this surface a little bit, but see how the holes line up. I have that little hole there for the screw, large hole for the the main entry for the map sensor, 2 holes for the screws. But got a little bit more done to the manifold. I got this tab cut off so it clear the AC lines. Did a little bit of cutting here, worked on that. I worked a little bit here just to make sure I know what's going on. I got the manifold to bolt up. To 2 of the holes. I still need to bore out the other 2. Haven't got the Dremel bits yet, but it fits on nicely so far. Okay, so I got this, or I found some hose to run. This will run into this hose, which will run into the crank, which I'll show in a second. But I have this hose here that'll run. I'm gonna try curling it down around because that fitting won't rotate. So I'm gonna try curling it down, get another chunk of hose, hook up a fitting there, but I also need a fitting to go from this to this. But this will run right here on off the crank. So now it'll run, like I said, into the back of the manifold. I got a D16 intake coming, so I could hook that up and I don't have to mess up my old one. I went and got more hose today. Went back to pick and pull. I got a nice long hose for the intake, which I will hopefully have by tomorrow. And then I got another, short hose like that. Cut it off. This will adjust or go onto here, and then I'll run it into this here like that, and then this will run from the back of the intake manifold. Questioning how well that's on there. I might get a better fitting, and then this will go down to the crank. Also got the injector seals. It takes a little bit of work to get in, which is supposed to, but like it's hard to show you on camera with one hand, but that fits properly. I also bought Dremel bits. Where are they at? Okay, right here. It says they're for wooden PVC, but I'm gonna push their limits on aluminum. Shouldn't be bad, but for all the couplings, so I have this. I got all these at Home Depot. Really cheap. They're like $2-3 a piece. Not bad. And then I got port cups from AutoZone. Those are like $4. But when you do the studs, do not do the top two, or this thing won't go in for you. Do the bottom three. This thing sort of, dropped in, but considering how difficult it was to even get it in there off the bat, it's in. So I got the manifold completely in, all the bolts except for one in the back on, because I dropped 2 of them somewhere in that mess. I had to take this thing out of the car, the manifold back out of the car, because I got it all plugged in. I started it, but there's a really bad vacuum leak somewhere. So I went with around the plate with gasket seals, and then I went around with this on the bottom with silicone underneath, so hopefully that won't leak. I also went and bought a D16 throttle body gasket, because the D17 one, if you look, there's this like waxy ring all the way around the outside that really keeps the seal, but the D16 face to the manifold is a little bit smaller than that ring, so this metal gasket, it doesn't do very well. So the swap is complete. I did miss a little bit of recording from the last time it was out, but it is in there and done. So I've already taken it for a good shakedown, good test ride, and it's awesome. The throttle response is there. It's way better throttle response. I have no complaints. So just a little quick overview, really quick, about where all the wires go and hoses. So you have the PCV valve, right? You can see the hose clamp right there. That runs to a little nub in the back of the manifold. Also, you have the brake booster. That's the top port. And then you have, on the bottom port, you have the EVAP. So my first try, I had the EVAP service port here So I was doing that wrong. I accidentally left it on the throttle body, but that'll run into the fuel rail. You use the D16a2 seals, D17 injectors. I have one mount here, right here. It's good, not the best. I definitely will need to find a way to mount it up on here, or one day do the Y8 fuel rail. So you'll run. I have to extend these coolant legs here just a little bit into the throttle body to make sure it doesn't freeze. It doesn't get too cold here, but just enough that it's good to have. I took the gasket or the plate off for the map sensor, and I put gasket maker on that just because. Let's see here. Also in the D16 intake, I drilled a hole and I put another fitting in with a hose clamp onto that. It does have a little bit of a kink here. I'm still trying to get everything figured out. I mean, if I work with it, it'll be fine, but he's worked with. The temperature sensor hooks up to there. But for the first like 5-6 runs or starts, so like the last couple days, it's been it wouldn't idle. I had to like rapidly hit the throttle to even get it to run at all. And turns out the map sensor and the throttle position sensor were the plugs were swapped. I don't know what Honda was thinking when they made those similar plugs in such a tight area. Some people will accidentally fry their ECUs because of it, but let's see here if I can find the wires to help you with that. Let's see here. So, okay. So the two greens here with the yellow red, that is your map sensor. The other similar plug is your throttle position sensor. You will have to extend the TPS a bit. I have everything in conduit, but that needs cleaned up a little bit. The EGR here needs to be bent and worked with a little bit. It's rubbing against that. So, but that curls around down to the old coolant port. You see the hose clamp straight down right there. You cap off the other little port. You can see that with the hose clamp. You cap off this. You use the also you need to use the D16a2 gasket. I went and got a new one. You do have to take the harness apart, untape everything, and pull out wires. Sort those out. Make sure you don't get anything switched. I use the OEM throttle cables. You will have to adjust them, but they seem to work just with one bolt, but I should find a way to make that two. Not much else to say. It took me a week because of how many trips I had to make. I had to make 2 trips to AutoZone, 3 trips to pick and pull, because I had to get the 3 D16 studs. I had to get the injector seals. Also hoses, I went and got those from pick and pull. You'll need a long 3/8 hose and then a long, or like a little short 3/4 for the EGR. Also, you need a long hose here. I think that's another 3/4 for the intake. I will put a link down below in the description box to Rodolfo Borja. I believe that's how to pronounce, but he was the main one that helped me through all of this. I'll put a link to his forum, his YouTube channel. He really helped me, but I mostly was asking all the questions because I thought I had a bad vacuum leak. I was asking, like, it was throwing codes left and right. I was just like, what is going on? The two plugs were switched around, so make sure you don't do that. It could, like I said, fry your ECU and get really expensive real quick. So, if you like this video, feel free to like and subscribe, and if you have any questions, put them down below.